Part 6 of our Mark II Focus RS project is coming up.
So what's happening in this video?
We've got calipers to take off because they're getting refurbished, as well as the factory springs being put back on. So if you've not already watched this series, go back and check out the videos and we'll crack on with this now. But before I go any further, if you've not already subscribed, we'll go and do it. We've already done a load of work on this car. Check this out. So now we finally do have the caliper carriers off. We now just need to get these hubs off for the backing plates because I've got brand new ones of those too. We wanted to put the factory rear springs back, factory springs all round back on this car because it was sitting a bit too low. It was making the rear have way too much camber as well than we actually wanted it to have. I know these have a lot from factory, but it's way too much. It was damaging the front arches, and we all know how expensive they are, and I don't want to build another set of arches again. So we're going to keep the spaces probably, so hopefully it will sit just about right. One thing is for sure, these discs and these pads I've definitely seen better days. Luckily, VBT, Dean, is hooking us up. All the calipers, all the carriers, all the discs, pads, everything is off the car now. Next bit, because we've got the new springs, the springs are on the back, which Ash has already smashed back on. We're going to take the front struts off. I don't think we have a spring compressor. I don't know whether these need to be compressed. I know some of the Audi stuff don't. The top just pops off, but we're going to find out. This is getting dropping arms and stuff. It gets way too technical for me. I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm leaving this bit to Ash and I'm just watching and learning. So I joke around a little bit on this channel and have a bit of a laugh, and you know, I don't take life too seriously, or cars too seriously, or noises too seriously, or anything like that. This is serious, no joke. There's about 50 quid's worth of Mark II Focus RS on the floor there, and that's all fell off the back of it. Just in case you're wondering how good a qualities these Mark II Focus RS's are, or just Ford stuff in general. So there we go, back of the car's done, drop links, springs, backing plate, still waiting for the brakes, the discs and everything else to come. Front, there's still loads to do. I still need to get the springs off the shocks to put the new springs on. We've still got to work out how this goes, which we've Googled it, and this looks like the stupidest contraption ever, so we'll find out about that. With the help from some tools at Awesome GTI, I managed to get the factory springs back on the front struts, and they are now ready to put back on the car. I found this straggler here. He said he was going to help me out. I don't know what he's going to do. He'll probably end up grabbing the camera off me and just filming some bits.
Come on then, I'll help you.
I don't know exactly what orientation this goes. Pretty sure that sort of faces out, but then there's like a tab here. Don't know what that bolts to.
How confident? 10 being confident.
Yeah.
That's right.
5, 6.
Can I ask you that same question again?
Yes.
How confident are you that's right?
I'm confident that I'm going to get it right this time. See this little nib here?
Oh yeah.
That should be sat at the back in this little gap. And that explains why it's sitting proud, that sort of 5-6 mils worth of strut that's been covered up by the hub. That explains why it's sitting too high. And we was like, it won't go any higher up. That's because I just need to twist this around to the right, so clockwise a little bit. Now, perfect. Thank you very much to Ash, who's not here, but I've just rang him and he told me.
That doesn't look like the same bolt as the other side. What is
no,
is there a story behind
yeah, I'm pretty sure I've put the wrong bolt in. You guys will be screaming at YouTube already going, it's the wrong bolt. It's definitely the wrong bolt because I remember Ash saying to me that the thread, so see this bit of the thread here, obviously where the pinch bracket comes round, there's a gap at the back like that where my fingers are, as you guys will know. But that's where the actual thread will rust, where the gap is, when it comes round like that, you see. So, yeah, the bolt I put in, although it's the right size bolt, it's slightly too long. It's not for this job. So all the hard work's been done. New discs are on, new calipers are here. Let's have a look at these. So originally, we were going to have these a colour, but we found out that the factory colour was actually silver. So that's exactly what we've gone with.
So seeing though the rest of the car has gone back to OEM factory look, we were going to do these blue, but it would have been a bit of a shame doing these blue and then the rest of the car being factory. So that's why we've gone for the normal out of the factory, whatever that is. Although this has got a Scorpion exhaust, and I'm sure that wasn't a factory option, was it?
It wasn't, but it sounds good.
So as usual on Evil GT, you don't know what you're doing?
No, I'm pretty sure that the caliper carriers and the calipers have been sided, but these look symmetrical. These look like they could go on either way. So they must be sided because the other one didn't go in. This one sits nice. some of you guys had a whinge about us using Mintex last time, saying they squeak. To be fair, we've used these in loads of cars now and had no issues, they've been great.
So this is always a worrying sound when the person doing the car repair says, I think this goes there.
It's funny because the guys at home will probably be like, that isn't what you're supposed to be doing. It
is now.
You need to have a look, see how it sits now the factory springs are back on it.
It sits a lot higher.
Yeah, it does.
But that's because it's just come off the ramp.
It has, yeah, it'll settle down a little bit, but it'll still be quite a lot higher. I mean, but then it is a rally car, right?
Rally inspired, yeah.
Rally inspired indeed.
Do you want to take it for a test drive?
No, do you not want to drive?
No chance.
Why not?
You've done the brakes.
You don't want to drive?
No. I was just thinking, like I said I don't want to drive because I don't trust your brakes, but I'm equally as much in danger here.
You absolutely are, mate, yeah? Yeah, park your ass there, son.
Safety first.
Don't know how well they're going to work to begin with because I didn't clean them off with any brake cleaner because we've ran out.
Are they working?
They're alright, they're a little bit...
Happy with that?
They're a little bit new.
Yeah, but it stops,
the new feeling. It stops, the brakes work, yeah? Which is a result for us, isn't it? But I've done that many sets of brakes now, it feels like I'm a bit of a brake specialist. And I don't want to be because it's the most boring job ever.
This wouldn't be an evil GT car without the good old engine light.
That's how we roll. That's when we know that the car's alright, when it has an engine management light.
Right, can you stop testing them? They work now.
They work.
We've checked them.
I'm happy with that, yeah.
It was strangled by this seatbelt.
Some positive braking. Positive braking. We're good. Kosher. Happy days.
Right, but does it stop when you're flying down the road at the speed limit?
We can soon find out.
It sounds amazing.
Does it?
That exhaust,
Mega.
It just sounds really good, yeah.
Well, thanks to Scorpion. This exhaust is mint, it's easy to fit, and obviously it sounds amazing. I tell you what else it's good at, leaving really good 11s down the road.
Well, I filmed it.
I just seen them then, class.
So I've just been told we're not actually stopping at the, it's probably about 350 horsepower at the moment.
We think, yeah.
We're not going to stop there, we're going further, we're going 70 horsepower more, and this car, I don't think this car needs 70 horsepower more, but we're going to do it anyway, aren't we?
No, it already pulls really well, but the problem is now the Cupra's at 400 horsepower, 403 to be precise, so this needs to be starting with a 4 surely. So now we have the new springs, new brakes, and our Mark II Focus RS looks like it's making great progress. Fast forward a couple of days, we should have been taking this to Wheels Up North in Cumbria. For those of you guys that were there, you'll have noticed that this wasn't, and here's the reason why. We got about 3 minutes up the motorway on our way there, and disaster. Dan, my friend, my very good friend who was helping to drive this car up there, heard a really loud snap and then just loads of rattling coming from this corner. We pulled over, we had a quick look, couldn't really see because the wheel was on and whatever else, got it on the ramp, and obviously straight away we can see that the top mount has completely snapped. As you can see, both sides completely snapped, so the bolts are still in, but now the strut's just flapping about. So I have bought 2 top of the range, only the best on this channel, 2 top of the range Starline top mounts from Eurocar Parts. We got these awesome GTI, very kindly ordered them for me. They arrived, so I'm going to fit these both sides because they were pretty cheap anyway. I'm going to do one this side and the other side, and hopefully that fixes our issue. So there we have it, the broken bits are off. Now we do have a little bit of a problem. These nuts are completely seized onto these bolts here, and it doesn't look like I'm going to be getting them off anytime soon. So hopefully I've got something in my toolbox and I can replace these and find some new nuts too. Okay, so the answer to that is no, I don't. These look like turbo manifold stud bolts or whatever. I have cleaned the threads up on this, if I can get it to focus a little bit. I'm going to douse it in WD. I don't have a blowtorch, annoyingly, but I'm going to douse it in WD. Then I'm going to bolt it back in and see if I can over-tighten the nut now that this is off, to try and get the nut to at least move up, and then see if I can bring it down after that. Fingers crossed. Nothing's ever easy, is it? The new top mount's on. Let's see if we can get these nuts off these studs. And there we have it. My plan worked. So far, so good. Worryingly. And there we have it. One brand new rear top mount fitted. I'm actually quite proud of myself. Now, this is the point where I was like, well, they were cheap enough. I'll get two, I'll do the other side. Even though the other side's not broken, I anticipate that the other side is the original one, like that one was, because it's had a Ford thing on it. You know when you push your luck a little bit, you think, do you know what? It's fine. I should leave it alone, because now, knowing our luck, and in true Evil GT style, I'm going to start this and something's going to go terribly wrong, and, well, yeah, the video will be even longer. I called it, I knew it. I got the first stud out, which come out exactly the same as the other two, where it was the nut was obviously seized to the actual stud, so I know how to sort that out. Went to get the second one, the nut's rounded off. It's completely rounded. Can't get a 12 on it, and the 13 is just spinning. But as you can see, the nut has completely rounded. That was definitely on its way. I've obviously made that worse, trying to get it off. But luckily, the end of the stud, this is obviously a different one that I managed to get off before, has an E7 fitting at the end. So luckily I managed to tap it on, because it was obviously full of a bit of crap. And then very, very carefully ratchet it off. And I've got to manage to get it out. Now I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to get that nut off now. It's got absolutely no sides whatsoever. It's a round nut. So I'm going to need a new one of these studs, which isn't the end of the world. And just like that, we've got a brand new one. Now, if anybody's wondering, that stud and nut, £9.19. And honestly, right, you guys, when we told you roughly what we'd spent on the Cupra, which is just here, and it was about 20 grand all in, you guys were like, stop it. How have you spent that much? But when you're fully rebuilding an engine, fully rebuilding subframes, suspension, arms, all that kind of stuff, and you're buying new nuts and bolts and gaskets and other fixtures and fittings, $5s here and $10s there on bolts and stuff, as you can see, soon adds up. It's ridiculous. So after quite a bit of messing about with the second stud, managed to get it out, get a new one in, we're all good. I couldn't get the nut then off the first one that did come out, but I managed to sort that out, got a spanner and a ratchet and messed about with it. We're on, the top mount is on, wheels back on, and that is the rear of this car. Done. So now that the suspension, the brakes and the top mounts are all sorted, next up is this. And there we have it, our upgraded intercooler courtesy of AirTech. Thank you very much to the guys over there. I'll put the links in the description to this and obviously their website as well. So if you do have anything else, it doesn't have to be a Ford. There's loads of stuff over there, go and check it out. Now I already know what you're saying. Ben's never changed an intercooler before. He ain't gonna have a clue what he's doing. And you'd be right. Now funnily enough, this does actually look like it's already an upgraded intercooler, but when I spoke to Collins Performance, they had a good look at it and said, you definitely need at least a stage 2 intercooler from AirTech. So once I've got this off, I'll put them side by side and compare. As you guys very well know, I am no expert. I know I take the mick and say I've got loads of certificates, but I have no idea what I'm doing. However, that there, I'm sure is supposed to be in the Jubilee clip still. But the actual screw bit that tightens it and loosens it off has just literally come out. So now I've got a Jubilee band in there, can't get the hose off, I don't know if you can see it all that well. And that's there. So there you go, as you can see on the original one, or it's still upgraded, but the original one that was on the car, the core of the AirTech is ever so slightly fatter, and the end tanks have a bit more girth to them. So hopefully, this helps when we go Collins Performance 420. So everything's been sort of loosely fitted back on now. It all looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. I'm just going to bolt it up and we should be good to go. Now, I don't know about you guys, but if you've ever put back together the front of a Ford, you'll notice that the clips and the screws that hold the bumper to the wing are really, really bad. They just don't grip. They don't sort of catch the actual plastic clip that they screw into at all. So what I've done, I can't remember whether I saw this on like a TikTok or an Instagram reel. I've actually put in a piece of cable tie. So hopefully that makes the clip a little bit smaller and gives the screw, the self-tapper, something to actually catch onto and thread in. It probably won't work, but it can't be any worse than the original ones anyway, so. And also, because I'm sure you guys are wondering, they are brand new clips. I bought brand new clips and brand new screws to go in here, self-tappers, and they're still rubbish. There we are, the front bumper's back on, everything looks good. This lines up miles better. I adjusted the top bit of the slam panel, this bit. I basically lifted it up. It bolts into the back of the crash bar at the front. So yeah, that looks like it lines up miles better because there was a big gap here before. I have still got the trims to go on underneath the engine sort of tray cover bit, whatever it's called, I've forgotten the name, the under tray, and some other little bits and bobs underneath there. So hopefully that then pushes the bumper that way a little bit, helps to lift it up, because the other side, if we look over here, there's still a gap, and obviously that's not great, but if you look, if the bumper is lifted, it then closes it up a little tiny bit, if I lift it properly, there you go. So fingers crossed, that fixes the issue. And there we have it, not perfect, but miles better than it was. Under trays on, all looking good. So if you want to join me in the next video, we'll be fitting hopefully some injectors and some uprated injectors, that is, and a turbo actuator. We'll then be tuning it Collins Performance 420, and this thing should be a beast just like the Cupra. So if you enjoyed today's video, thank you very much for watching. Please do consider liking and subscribing, and I'll catch you on the next one.